Hey, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. I'm your host, Tanya, and tonight we have made it back to Monday, guys. Listen, I am so glad to be back. And guess what? I had a wonderful vacation all last week. The weather was gorgeous. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it later on in the video. But first, I hope everybody's had a great weekend, a great week so far. Today is a little bit more on the rainy side, but guess what? That's okay. Because all this coming week is going to be gorgeous weather. So we're going to be looking forward to this beautiful weather going forward, okay? But listen, guys, a lot to catch up on, a lot of things that took place over the weekend and all last week. We got a lot of protests going on, especially on the 5th, which was this past Saturday. And listen, guys, you know how I do it. I always bring receipts every time I show you something. So tonight, we're going to talk about the April 5th protesters. Yes, nationwide. This was participation in just about every single state. Huge turnout, believe it or not. And there's some people that's not feeling this, guys. I've been telling y'all this from day one. A lot of people are not feeling what's going on. And so we're going to tackle that a little bit later on in the video. Also, we're going to talk about Kamala Harris because Kamala Harris also made some remarks, and let's just say it was good to see her response on some things. But anyway, again, let me talk about my vacation for just a second before we get going. First off, I had a great time. Had some time with the family for a little bit the first couple days. And then I did venture out, went to the beach. It was more of a solo thing for me. Didn't have friends, didn't have family or anybody with me. I just, you know how you just want that vacation where you just want to relax, take it easy. You don't want to be bothered. You don't want to see no phone calls. You don't want to hear any of that. You know, you just want to be to yourself. You just want to do what you want to do. And that's it. And guess what? I enjoyed every minute of it, all 9 days. I sure did. And I'll probably take another one in July. So I'm telling you, I enjoy my vacations. I try to take a quarterly break. I had one in December for the holidays, and I was out about 10 days there. And then the end of March going into April, that's 1 quarter. I took 9 days. July, I'll probably take another 9 days for my birthday because the end of the month, well, my birthday is the 18th. But I usually celebrated that last week of July going into August. So there's a lot of things that's coming up that, you know, I'm looking forward to. And then I take a small mini break in September. And then right back at the holiday loop again, either Thanksgiving or Christmas, I'll take a little break. So I try to pace my little breaks throughout the year, you know, so because it does help you. Trust me, this morning when I got back to work, of course, you know, I had a lot of emails and a lot of phone calls, but I was refreshed. You know what I'm saying? I had my energy. I was more alert. I was more rested, you know, and I definitely needed this break. So, but overall, I had a great time. Went to the beach for a little while. Then I came up and went to the casinos. There's a new casino in this area. I'm not going to tell you where my location is, but let's just say I enjoyed myself at the casino as well. I'm not a gambler, guys. I just was there because it's a brand new place. And I wanted to check out the venue, and it was very nice. So overall, enjoyed myself. Again, enjoyed myself with the family. Had some time down on the coast where I'm from, and we had a good time down there as well. We'll probably get back together Easter, and then another time in Mother's Day and Father's Day, which is coming up in the next couple months. But anyway, let's just get on with the first topic at hand. The first thing we're going to talk about is the protest that took place on Saturday. Because trust me, like I said, people are not feeling it. Let's listen in on this clip And then we're going to dissect this video once it's over and let you know exactly what I feel about this situation.
Public services in this country right now. That's right. They claim to be making government more efficient. That is a joke, people. That is a cruel joke. They're doing the exact opposite. What they're doing is a recipe for disaster, not a recipe for efficiency. Now, this administration has fired or bullied into resignation 275,000 federal workers providing essential services. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let me ask you a question. Are you okay with Trump eliminating essential services? Hell no! Hell no! Now never forget this fact.
My friend told me about this site, and I'm only paying $89. So State Farm tried charging me $187 for
30% of the federal workforce are veterans. The biggest employer of veterans nationwide by a wide margin. You can't separate federal employees from veterans because there's so many veterans in the federal government. If you're doing it to federal employees, you're doing it to veterans. Okay? He's laid off 275,000. That means almost 100,000 veterans now are jobless because of what this president is doing. Boo. Concurrently, they're decimating the Department of Veterans Affairs. They're laying off 83,000 people that care for veterans. This is a 1-2 punch to the face of our veterans. Are you okay with that? Hell no. Hell no. Shame on Trump. Okay. Shame on Trump. Shame on Trump. Shame on Trump. Shame on Trump. And I'll make a point about this. This is an important point about the veterans. You can stand with Doge and Trump and Elon Musk, or you can stand for veterans. You cannot stand for both. Okay. Now make no mistake. The cuts to essential services, okay, the cuts that we're seeing to the workforce are decimating public services, unquestionably putting the American people in danger. Okay, we've seen cuts to nuclear regulators that they went back on. They told air traffic controllers to quit and then went back on it. We represent wildland firefighters. They're not hiring enough of them. Communities are going to burn. It's scary. Okay, examples all over government. Okay, let me ask you a question. Are you okay with Trump undermining public safety? Hell no! Hell no! And in the last 10 days, Trump signed an executive order attempting to unilaterally and unlawfully end collective bargaining for over 1 million federal employees. We've never seen anything like that in this country, folks. Never seen anything like it. It is the biggest assault on collective bargaining that we have ever seen in this country. A critical First Amendment right protected by the Constitution. Are you okay with that? Hell no! Hell no! This administration is the worst. They sold us on America first, but they're making America worse. We are the ones that have to stop them. I'm so proud of everybody here. Don't stop. We never stop fighting for this country. And now it is my distinct honor to welcome to the podium my good friend, incredible labor leader, Dr. Everett Kelly, president of AFGE.
Bless you, brother. Good evening. How everybody feel? Are you excited? Let me hear you say, I'm excited. Brothers, sisters, allies, on behalf of the 820,000 federal and D.C. government workers we represent at LGE, I want to begin by saying thank you. Thank you for showing up today. Listen, everybody look at your neighbor on your left side and say thank you. Come on, I don't hear you. Everybody look at your neighbor on your right side and say thank you. Thank you for your unwavering solidarity. Thank you for supporting the patriotic American civil servants that mind you and you represent. Thank you for standing for the services we provide to the American people, not some days, but every single day. And thank you for showing our members that you have their back. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let me just stop right there. Listen, this is serious, guys. These people are protesting because all these federal jobs and a lot of the veterans are being hurt right now. These are people that fought for the country. Okay? That's almost like a slap in the face. I'm not going to lie, because how are you going to eliminate Social Security and pensions to people who fought for this country, but yet you want to make America great again, but almost, I mean, it's like a double-handed whammy. You know what I'm saying? How do you explain that? And what gets me, they said that Donald Trump on Friday, he was playing golf in Mar-a-Lago in his nice golf community with no care in the world, guys. Like I said, it doesn't affect them. He's not worried about this, you know, but I'm telling you, and I've told you from day one, when you start playing with people's money and livelihoods, that's just, you're in dangerous territory. You already see it for yourself. I'm actually going to show you this too, by the way. Let me show you, because this was a mass protest. I'm talking about protests all across the United States. I mean, there was one place they had, even at the White House, I think they had over like 800,000 people, almost 1 million people there just protesting. And like I said, they're doing it because now it's affecting people of all races. I don't know if y'all are old enough to remember, well, I know some of y'all are old enough to remember the Million Man March back in the 90s, where, you know, they had to have 1 million black men to march the Capitol. And it kind of reminds me of that just a little bit, but this is a little bit different because now it's affecting all races of people. Now, let's just look at this clip right here of some of the protests that were going on in other areas so you can see what I'm talking about there.
Good evening. I'm John Yang. Across the country and around the world today, tens of thousands of people turned out for what organizers say has been the biggest single day of protest against President Trump and his second-term policies and actions. In this country, more than 1,000 rallies were planned in small towns and major cities.
These are the dots. This is where all the rallies took place, by the way. You see how there's little dots all over the United States? Yeah, those were all the rallies in one day in every state. So.
From coast to coast, Allie Rogan begins our coverage.
In Washington, crowds descended on the National Mall, calling for lawmakers to rein in President Trump.
He's right now destroying our economy. He's taken away all of our allies. We're a pariah in the world. And Congress sits back and does nothing.
The mass protest, dubbed the Hands-Off National Day of Action, was organized by advocacy groups that oppose the president's policies during his first term. Protesters railed against Mr. Trump's recent moves to lay off scores of federal workers, revoke protections for immigrants, and implement sweeping tariffs. But for Democratic leaders, the president's threat to democracy took center stage.
Our founders wrote a constitution that does not begin with "we the dictators." The preamble says, "We the people."
The movement spread far beyond the nation's capital. From the sidewalks of South Bend to downtown Boston and New York City, demonstrators took to the streets in protests both big and small to oppose President Trump's agenda. That resistance echoed around the globe. In Germany, England, and Portugal, protesters flocked to public squares to show support and solidarity with Americans.
Now, this is around the world as well, not just the United States. No, other countries are protesting too. You know why? Because he's actually putting tariffs on all countries now. It was supposed to be only for Canada and Mexico, but now everybody's getting tariff, even some of our allies. And so now the United States, and I hate to say this, we're being alienated from even the people that are supposed to help us, which is not good. So let's keep listening.
Freedom is at stake in the United States and for the whole world with what Donald Trump is doing. And we need to stand up.
For PBS News Weekend, I'm Allie Rogan.
These protests cap a tumultuous week. Overnight, President Trump's 10% global tariffs went into effect, and in anticipation, stocks lost trillions of dollars in market value in just 2 days. Beverly Gage is a professor of history and American studies at Yale University. Beverly, is there any precedent or even an analogous events to what we've seen in the past few days?
Well, we've certainly had tariffs before in American history, no, not on this scale and not for a while, but I cannot think of another moment when it seemed like the White House and the president had deliberately tanked the stock market and told everyone, hey, no worries, it's going to be okay.
You say there have been tariffs in history. What has history taught us about tariffs?
Tariffs were a big part of the way the federal government got its money in the late 19th and into the early 20th century. We didn't have an income tax, and this was a huge source of federal revenue, and we sort of did away with them because they were seen to create instabilities, to create these wild cycles of boom and bust that were so characteristic of that period, and then also to really be a source of political corruption and favoritism. And a century ago, Americans decided that really wasn't the way they wanted to run their country, but it looks like we're heading back to that now.
In recent years, we've seen presidents trying to globalize the economy, trying to make the United States part of a global economy. And now the president seems to be fencing off the American economy from the rest of the world. What do you make of that?
I think that's a really important distinction. If we go back to the 19th century and to the Gilded Age, which seems to be a period that Trump and his allies are thinking a lot about, looking back to, it was a very different story because you hadn't had a whole century of these ties across the continent, across the globe, and this kind of global business world that now is really being dismantled in many ways.
Taking a broader look at the administration and what's happened so far, we've seen President Trump trying to reshape the federal government through DOGE, trying to reshape relations with longtime allies and with trading partners and with the developing world. And we're not even at the 100-day mark. Can you think of a time or a president who's hit the ground running so hard and so fast?
I think you can look at something like Franklin Roosevelt's first 100 days, which is where really we get this idea of the first 100 days as a critical period. Lots of things happened, lots of things changed, and they were pretty fundamental. Changes in the political economy. Americans were able to start drinking again because he ended prohibition. But that moment, I think, is different from this one because people understood Roosevelt to be addressing really a cataclysmic crisis. At home, the Great Depression, abroad, the rise of fascism. And now it seems like the crisis is sort of coming from the White House more than anything else.
Kip.
Yeah, and see, let me stop right there. Like I said, he's actually tariffing our allies. And so now if he's putting 25% tariffs on things, what do you think the price of products are going to be? If we tax them 25%, guess what they're going to do? They're going to retaliate. And a lot of countries are retaliating and say, okay, well, we're just going to tax you right back. You know, it's a good thing, but it always hurts the economy because for us, we're the ones that's going to have to eat that money. We're the ones that, number one, our stock market is going to crash. I've already lost money in the 401k. I looked at it today and I've already moved some money. And I would suggest some of y'all do the same. Move some money in more of a safer place. Right now the market is just too volatile. So I would suggest that if you can. Now, I can't tell you where to move it to, but I probably wouldn't have it all in the stock market right now. But anyway, that's the problem, So now products that were, let's say, $10, well, now it's going to be $12.50, or if it's $20, it's going to be $44. It's going to be more money to purchase that product because a lot of the stuff that we need come from overseas. A lot of stuff is made in China. And guess what? We're taxing them half to death. That product is going to be more expensive for us to purchase because all that stuff is made overseas, So they said it's going to be a temporary thing. We'll see. We'll just have to, give it some time and see how it goes. But it's just not looking good right now. So, but anyway, let's talk about Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris said, you know what? I told y'all in so many words what to expect. We're going to listen to her and then we'll chime in on what she has to say about all of what's been going on since he took office.
When one person, when a few stand with the courage, that is the courage exhibited by the leaders in this room every day, to stand, to have the courage to say, I feel fear. The courage to say what is happening is wrong. The courage to say that there is a way that we must chart to get through this. Understanding our power in the democracy we still have if we hold on to it. Courage is contagious.
What could have been, everyone? What could have been? That, of course, was former Vice President Kamala Harris speaking at a summit of women leaders earlier this evening. It's one of the first times we've seen her speak out since her November election loss. She hasn't been out there a ton. We'll see if she comes out more. She also spoke about the current state of fear in our country.
Empower. So handsome.
I can't buy this. What's wrong?
Hang on.
We are seeing organizations stay quiet. We are seeing those who are capitulating to clearly unconstitutional threats. And these are the things that we are witnessing each day in these last few months in our country. And it understandably creates a great sense of fear. Because, there were many things that we knew would happen. Many things. I'm not here, so I told you so.
Whoa.
First of all, she
said, I was going to say, I told you so. We tried to help people. I don't know what is it going to take to lose everything you got? Because that's the way it seems. And even then, it's like, anyway, let's keep going.
She predicted a lot of these things that were going to happen. And many people are definitely scared. We say that out there. We're also seeing that people are going out in full force to resist, with mass mobilization across the country, including a huge nationwide rally called Hands Off plans on Saturday. And joining me now is one of the people headlining the rally in D.C., Congressman Jamie Raskin, who is, of course, a Democrat of Maryland, also ranking member of the Judiciary Committee. Congressman, it's great to see you. First, it's been a pretty good week for Democrats, I think. A week where people saw lots of candidates announce they were going to run. You saw Senator Booker do an overnight inspiring moment on the floor. Lots of good things happening in Wisconsin. And you're going to be the headline speaker for the Hands Off rally, as I mentioned, in D.C., with an expected attendance of 12,500 people. We'll see. Where do you see this mobilization effort against the Trump administration policies at this moment?
Well, I was telling everybody back when people were complaining about where's the Democratic leadership, where's the energy, where's the focus, that it takes a while to fully absorb the shock of these events. I mean, we're talking about a full-blown attempt at an authoritarian takeover of our country and a purge of federal workers, and we're being hit on all fronts. But now everybody is in a fighting mood. I am down here in Orlando, Florida with my buddy Maxwell Frost. He just kicked off his year-long organizing program, and he's the co-chair of Democracy Summer. We're going to be announcing Democracy Summer. We're hoping to have more than 1,000 young people across the country working full-time on Democratic campaigns and studying with great Democratic heroes of the past. The energy is extraordinary. It's astounding. What is this, a Thursday night? There were, 350 people just packed in the firefighters hall, and lots of people couldn't get in. Everywhere, all over America, people understand the stakes now. The entire country, as we know it, is on the line with these people, and they are in a full-blown effort to turn the government into a gangster state.
And that's true. It's almost like like I said before, they don't care who it affects. And now people see that, oh boy, I'm losing money in the stock market now. Oh, my pension is getting affected. He said something about Social Security might be affected too. And this is just the brink. We don't know what else is coming down the line, So I'm all for giving it time, but it's got to make sense. And to me right now, it's just not making sense what they're doing. And I think a lot of people feel the exact same way, not just Democrat guys. And let's take the political thing out of it. This is affecting all Americans, okay? No matter what party. It's not a left wing or right wing in this situation. This is affecting everybody, okay? So let's just get that out there, okay? But tonight I just wanted to kind of get back into the swing and kind of, talk about what's been going on and kind of do a recap of everything that's been going on. I will be back on Thursday, guys. Okay, that way we can go full force and get back into everything that has been taking place. And so, but I'm glad to be back again. And I wanted to say hello and hope everybody's doing good. If y'all enjoyed the content, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you can, please hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified of every time I come on to YouTube. You won't miss any episodes, okay? Because I'm going to keep them coming. We're still going to get back into the NBA edition on Friday nights as well to cover our basketball, to get back into the sports as well. Haven't forgotten about y'all. We're going to go deep with this, okay? And some more sports to come too. Tennis is coming up in May. We're doing the French Open. We're going to do Wimbledon in July and then the U.S. Open in August. So we're going to be covering those 3 events as well, and baseball as well. So more and more is coming. Trust me. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for tonight, but join me again at 8 o'clock on Thursday. We'll resume where we left off. And again, thank y'all for all the support and all the sharing and comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You don't know how much that means to me. I also want to do a shout out to my friend Shirley Clinton. She did a comment on my other, I think a video before last, and I forgot to shout her out. Thank you, thank you, thank you for those comments. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Y'all, again, y'all have a great rest of your night. And I will see y'all back on Thursday at 8 o'clock. Okay? All right. Well, y'all take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.